Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here, and yes, the sun is blinding you, so you can't fully see my face. I do apologise, but that's just the way sometimes the cookie crumbles. And just as I literally start this, the train decides to come right past as I start recording. Typical, isn't it, guys? Another episode of Speaking My Mind. Hope you guys are all having a good Saturday, whatever you guys' plans are. Hope you have a nice one. Weather has really started to get better. It's the last day of March this is being recorded, so it is still a bit still a little bit chilly, but it should soon fade away and the weather should really start warming up. April, I should not expect too many. It should start warming up. You would expect it to, anyway. But we'll see how it goes, guys. So what are we talking about today? So today, guys, actually, there's something quite interesting. Actually, happened. So I was visiting my parents because they don't live close to me. I have to spend quite a bit on the train to get to where they are. Which is obviously important, especially if you don't live near your parents. Obviously, trying to go out your way to see them is always important. I don't think I need to tell you that, but it was good to spend some time with them and see some other family where they are, which was also pretty nice. But one of the things that my parents were telling me about was my fold-up bike. Fold-up bike, Regan. Yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about bicycles in general. So with you guys, so I'll share a little bit. So when we were younger, and I don't know how many of you guys had the same experiences when you were a kid, but obviously when you get a bike, I mean, it's like the coolest toy in the world. You know, getting on the bike and being able to cycle and go really, really fast and go down hills and whatnot, and then you accidentally hit into someone and then you feel absolutely guilty about yourself cycling. That didn't happen to me, but some people may have had that experience themselves. But I'll say on that. So my parents were basically asking me, did I still want the fold-up bike? So I said, you're not going to chuck it out, are you? So this fold-up bike is actually like a how old is it? It's got to be maybe more than it's definitely more than a decade. It was definitely in my 20s, early 20s. So say probably about, I'm in my late 30s now. So I say probably about 15 plus years. I would say something like that. That's how old this bike is. Yeah, that I've had, and it was one that my parents bought. And it wasn't just an regular bike as well. It was a fold-up one, so you could literally fold it up, and it was very easy to carry on the trains. It was very, very handy, very dandy for me to get about. But of course, when you have a bike like that, one of the things, as you guys know, especially as someone who lives in London, your bike is an easy target. So I was always self-conscious about where I would ride the bike. So when I had it, what I used to do. So when I used to live with my parents, because I'd have to travel to the station, get the train, and then travel from the station to the store where I worked in Kilburn at the time. And what I'd have to do is I'd get off. My shifts at the time were like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you have to get the really early trains, obviously. And it's about 15-minute walk from the station to the store. And I didn't like getting the bus. I almost never got the bus. Very rarely did I get the bus because I didn't want to waste my money on a bus fare when I knew I was more than capable of walking. Hence why I like walking. But the bike, that was to kind of help reduce the time gap there. And in the store where I worked had lots of storage space, lots of places where you could put the bike. And I remember asking my managers there, and they all had no problem with me having the fold-up bike, which is great. It's absolutely fantastic, obviously, when you have and I had a great boss as well. So when you have a really good boss that doesn't mind you bringing bringing in your fold-up bike and just literally putting it somewhere in the back as long as it's not a problem to the shop. So where I worked, so she didn't mind. And yeah, obviously I lost contact with her. I really hope hopefully one day I'll get in contact with her again. But anyway, so what I used to do is be up at sometimes as early as 4 a.m. and have the bike ready, and then what I would do is I would cycle the bike down to the station, fold up the bike at the station, get it on the train, and then when I get off at my stop, which was West Hampstead Thameslink, for those who don't know, in London, it's not too far. West Hampstead Thameslink's not too far from Kilburn. And then what I would do is then cycle from West Hampstead Thameslink. Remember, this is very early in the morning, so the roads aren't too busy. But I didn't ride on the roads anyway, I don't think. I think I did. Maybe it was on the footpath, I don't know. But I ride on there, and then, what was it? Yeah, I rode on the roads. I'm pretty sure it's the roads. Actually, maybe it was the footpaths. I can't remember. Yeah, there was one time where I was really, really bad, and I was riding on the road with my yellow jacket vest, and I didn't stop for an elderly lady, and I almost hit into her. Like, that's how terrible I was one time. Yeah, I know. God, terrible, shameful. Yeah, that has always crossed my mind, because I was going so fast I had no time to stop. In hindsight, it was very, very silly of me. I don't think I was even late for work. That's how terrible I was on it. But yeah, I would cycle all the way to the store in Kilburn. From there, it was literally like less than 5 minutes. Just literally a couple minutes on the cycle from there. Then work my shift, then finish at 2, and then I would unfold the bike and then cycle back to West Hampstead Thameslink. The only problem was obviously I'm going uphill instead of going downhill, so I had to go uphill after working an 8-hour shift, after cycling to the station. So you're doing that going back, it's like as you guys can imagine. And then obviously you got to cycle from West Hampstead home. I mean, you could say, well, to be fair, like working 6 to 2, like get the rest of the afternoon off. But yeah, that is true. But yeah, I didn't go to bed early, guys. I still went to bed at like 11 o'clock midnight. So I didn't really get 6 hours sleep all the time. Sometimes it was less than 6 hours sleep. So I was coming home, I was always knackered. So, but the bike was very good. I had a yellow jacket, like I said, helmet, and it was very, very handy. So at one point I decided let my parents look after the bike because of bits and bouts of movement, because I don't live independently now, but they were clearing out some stuff and they basically said we're getting rid of the bike, and I was like perplexed. I was like, can't get rid of that bike, it's a fold-up bike, it's a good bike. So we checked it on the weekend, last weekend, and yeah, it's pretty rock solid still. So just need a good clean up because it's dusty in that. So at the time of this recording, I have not taken it for a full-blown cycle run in this park, but I might do this week, obviously. And we'll see how it goes. Obviously I have to be conscious of children and dogs and whatnot, because for some reason there seems to be people out with their kids in what is not a bank holiday week. So why are they out? And I don't understand why there's sometimes when I go for my walks there's kids out when they should be at school or in daycare, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I'm also very conscious of where I live as well, because with the bike, because people have their bikes stolen in the area where I live as well. Don't get me wrong, some of the neighbours we have are really, really lovely, but there are parts of the neighbourhood as a whole where where it's not safe. Some people are a bit troublemakers, shall we say, and they caught wind about my bike, especially a fold-up one. They probably try to steal it. So obviously it's not very, keep it somewhere where it's not visible to naked eye, but it is quite worrying to say the least. But yeah, that's my story about my fold-up bike. Maybe what I'll do is I'll share a picture on YouTube. If you guys want to see a picture of it, I can share a picture of it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about that story. Tell me about your stories with a bike, if you've had one. If you want to share stories about them, if you've had one yourself and whatnot. If you had a fold-up one and whatnot, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the little story. And take care as always. Hit that like button if you liked the story. Share, subscribe, all that usual stuff. And hope to catch you all very, very soon.